I want to recognize Mr. Andrews for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I thank the panel. I'd say to my friend from Tennessee that I would support a bill that says the interest rate on direct loans should be calculated as follows. Take the cost of the government acquiring the money, add to that the cost of administering the program, both on campus and the Department of Education, put in a reserve for loan default, and make the interest rate that, which is what we proposed in 1991 as setting rate would be considerably lower than 6.8%. If he'd be happy to co-sponsor that, I'd welcome his help. I would yield to him. Okay. Let me ask the panelists some questions. My understanding is that the consensus on the panel from Mr. Bondre, Ms. Hoover, Mr. Day is that no student went without a loan during this transition period because of the transition. Is that correct? And although there were bumps in the road that, in the case of Mr. Bondre and Mr. Day, they're actually running programs on campus. Like, Ms. Hoover, are you as well?
I'm a direct loan school,
yeah.
yes.
So all three of you, that there have been bumps in the road, but the program's working pretty well on your campuses. And the third thing that I heard is that I heard some very constructive suggestions that I'm sure Mr. Runcie and his colleagues will take into account. I think a quicker turnaround time is essential. I think that, you know, students need the money to do a lot of things at the beginning of the semester, and waiting is a problem. I think that certainly the website problems that the chairwoman pointed out need to be addressed at the department. I think there's a number of other things. But would anybody, particularly of the three campus witnesses, would anybody here characterize the direct loan program as a disaster? No. Would anybody characterize it as a very flawed law? No, I wouldn't either. Would anybody here support the repeal of the direct loan program, any of the three campus-based witnesses? No. Okay. I think we've reached a point of consensus here that's commendable. I think the program absolutely could use improvement. And Mr. Runcie, again, I would hope that you would take to heart the very constructive suggestions you've heard from the campus-based witnesses here today, try to see what we can do about it. Mr. Runcie, the final thing I would ask you is that, and I'll ask it for the record, I've written to the Secretary, and you've been kind enough to respond, that I have some concerns about the consolidation loans, the statutory authority in the consolidation loans, that I have some concern has been exceeded by some loans that have been originated. I'm going to send you some follow-up questions on the record for that. I just close by saying this, that the source of the question about the program being a disaster was a Wall Street Journal editorial that claims the program should be done away with. And the source of the very flawed law climate was the chairwoman, who in January of this year called the program a very flawed law. I think she's made some very constructive suggestions about how it could be improved, and I would work with her. But I would disagree. I would join you in asserting the fact that the program's not very flawed and should not be repealed. I yield back.